Ladies and guys who think that emotions are weak and that you should crush them at all costs. Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet and founder of killyourinnerloser.com. This is the Inner Winner Show. Let's fucking go. So guys, I want to start off by saying emotions aren't this big, scary, horrible, must be suppressed thing that you think they are. I see this too many times. Guys think if I'm feeling something, I'm being a pussy. If I'm getting emotional about something, I'm a fucking coward. If I'm angry about something, that means I'm not masculine. If I'm, pissed off and butthurt and bitter, I'm doing something wrong. Guys, no, 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 no. Yes, we talk about stoicism. Yes, being more stoic is something that you want to engineer in your life. Absolutely. The more grounded in reality that you can be and the less focused on your emotions, or let's say the less of a slave to your emotions that you can be, absolutely you're going to have a better life for sure. That's without question. But emotions are not these big scary things or these weak things that you need to suppress at all costs or bottle up or shove aside or ignore or get angry about. I see too many guys getting almost neurotic about the fact that they have emotions, right? They'll feel angry and they'll go, what's wrong with me? Why am I angry? Because you're a fucking human. I'm sorry, but you're a human. You're not more special than the rest of us. I feel emotions all the time. I get angry all the fucking time. I'm sad all the time. Well, not all the time. I get sad sometimes. I get depressed sometimes. I get pissed off sometimes. I'm butthurt sometimes. I'm emotional sometimes. I am. I'm a shitty train wreck human, just like the rest of you. And so this weird notion that a lot of you have that like, I have to like shove aside my emotions or I have to not feel something in order to get success. No, absolutely not. What I want you guys to do is reframe the way you look at emotions. Emotions are information. Okay, I'll say that again. Emotions are information. They are trying to tell you something. Just like if you go outside and it's fucking freezing, your body will start shivering and your brain will go, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold. And you'll go back home, you'll grab a jacket, and then you'll go outside. You'll grab a beanie or whatever. That's information. If I punch you in the face, your body goes, oh shit, there's a threat. Ow, pain. This guy hit me. Back away. Or punch him back or something. Your body or your senses are trying to tell you something. Emotions are the same shit. Okay, they're not some useless carryover from our old days when we used to have, emotions and biology and blah, 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 and let me be better than that. They're not some pussy thing. They're not a feminine thing. Oh my God, like only women feel shit. Why am I feeling shit? I'm such a pussy. I'm such a bitch. Like, no, 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 no. Emotions are trying to tell you something. They are useful information, and you will develop a pathology in yourself if you try and suppress them and tell yourself, I'm not allowed to feel, or I'm wrong if I feel, or I'm a pussy if I feel, or I should shove this aside. For fuck's sakes, guys. That is the dumbest shit that I have ever heard in my entire life. What is the purpose of, why are you listening to this podcast? 1, to get laid. 2, to improve your life. And 3, self-awareness, right? Like self-awareness is the way you do those 2 other things that I just said. If you want to get laid a lot, if you want to improve yourself and live an awesome life, you have to be self-aware. You can't be this knee-jerk reaction person. It's funny that a lot of you think suppressing your emotions means that you're more self-aware, which is just the most backwards sounding shit that I've ever heard. But I've heard enough of you say this, or I've seen enough of you do this now, where you think emotions are me being, well, emotional, but emotions are me being an animal. It's me not being like something better or something higher. So the way that I should deal with that is just suppress my emotions and then I'm being rational. No, you're not. When you suppress your emotions, what happens? Your brain is still subconsciously feeling those emotions. You're still subconsciously thinking about whatever it is that made you emotional. And now you are acting from a weak place. You are acting on fear. You're scared of those emotions. You've bottled them up. And now everything you do, those emotions subconsciously are still going to drive your actions. You just now aren't as aware of it because anytime it comes up, you're like, no, 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 I can't think of that. I can't feel that. I'm not allowed to feel that. That's wrong. That's being a pussy. That's being a coward. So congratulations. Now you are an animal running on instinct, which was the very thing that you were trying to fucking avoid. That's why this shit is so backwards. I see so many guys, like I'm saying, bottling their emotions and going, this makes me more rational. No, it doesn't. It makes you a fucking coward. I'll say that again. You're a fucking coward. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but I'm going to be blunt with you guys. If you bottle your emotions, you're a fucking coward. You are. You're a pussy. You're exactly the thing that you are trying to avoid if you can't deal with emotions. Again, emotions are information. They are trying to tell you something. And it's borderline evil to be getting information, at least from my perspective and from the things I care about, to be getting information and then suppressing that. That's dishonest. That's lying. That's going against truth. And truth is something that I obviously value very much. And if your body is trying to tell you something, your emotions are trying to tell you something, and you ignore that, congratulations, you're shunning the truth. You're shying away from the truth. I have to call that out and say that's cowardly. That's cowardly as fuck. So what can you do with your emotions, and how can you start framing them in a positive way? By looking at them, like I said, as information. These emotions are trying to tell me something. So if I'm pissed off, that's my body trying to tell me something. That's my body trying to say, I don't like what this person did, or I don't like the way I handled this situation, or I didn't get enough sleep last night, and that's why I'm grumpy and angry, or I don't like the way my boss talks to me. It doesn't make me feel good. It pisses me off. And so now how do you use that information, that useful information? If you think about it and you decide the anger is because I didn't sleep enough, okay, tonight I need to prioritize my sleep. I need to buy a sleep ring. I don't know if that's going to focus, but that's what this thing is. Is that focus? Yes, it has. So that's my little sleep ring that tracks my sleep, tells me how many hours I get of sleep. That's me prioritizing my sleep, because I'm angry if I don't. My emotions tell me, Andy, you can't handle not sleeping enough. You get angry, you get grumpy, you get sad, you get depressed, you get emotional, right? So those emotions are useful. They are telling me, fix your fucking sleep. Or if you're angry because your boss is a dick to you, you have 15 fucking options. Okay, I'm going to learn to meditate so that I can deal with his shit. I'm going to give myself a nice reward after every day of work. Maybe I'll eat a steak, I'll watch YouTube, I'll go for a walk, I'll hang out with my bros, I'll grab a beer, drink in moderation. Don't become an alcoholic to deal with your shitty boss. But you know what I mean? Like any one of those things is how you're going to deal with the anger. Great. That information is now useful. That emotion has helped you. This is why I get so fucking, ironically, emotional about this topic, or passionate about this topic, because I see you guys like misusing emotions, or thinking that emotions are bad, or suppressing your emotions and saying, I can't feel anything. That would be pussy. That wouldn't be manly. That wouldn't be masculine. That's dumb as fuck. It's so fucking dumb to be getting useful information, and emotions are useful as hell, and then going, oh, let me just discard that. What the fuck are you trying to do here? Are you trying to make yourself some dumb animal who just runs on instinct? Because that's what you do when you suppress emotions. You do just run on instinct. You're shutting down a very, very useful pipeline of information that is constantly coming into your brain. Your emotions are constantly telling you shit, and you're just going, let me throw all that away. Good luck building an awesome fucking life if you're going to just shut down your emotions. You are now flying blind, so to speak, right? It's like half of your brain is working. You're getting half the information that someone like me gets, or any one of my, clients, or any one of my people that use their emotions for a good, like as information, like process the emotions and think about what they might mean and what the emotions are trying to tell them. So I really want to drill this into you guys. Emotions are useful. They're information. You can do something with them. If you're butthurt about a girl, like a girl rejects you, doesn't want to sleep with you, or unmatches you on Tinder or whatever, and you're butthurt about that. You're bitter, you're sad, you're depressed, you're angry. You're like, what is this fucking bitch? How dare this bitch? Like, how dare she? How dare she turn me down? Like, when you're feeling that, rather than bottling that up and going, oh, I'm a pussy, I need to just like man up and talk to more women. Yes, go talk to more women. That's absolutely the solution here. But instead of saying, like, I see this all the time, guys going, why am I so angry? What's wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm a pussy. How come I can't get to like Andy's level or anyone else's level where they don't feel anything? Why do I care about this? It's like, yes, that last thing that you just said is what you need to focus on. Not all the shit you said before it. All the shit you said before it was, let me bottle this emotion. Why do I'm such a pussy for feeling like this. No, all of that, no, that's not what you should be saying to yourself, and not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is the last thing you said, which is, why do I feel this emotion? Why do I care this much? That is the fucking question to ask yourself. And that is the question I ask myself every time I feel an emotion. Why do I care this strongly? Why do I care? Like, why am I this angry? Why am I this sad? Why am I this depressed? That is where the useful information comes from. What are my emotions trying to tell me? Why do I care? Why am I angry? Is this because when I was a fucking child, none of the girls would talk, when I was in high school, none of the girls would talk to me, and that pissed me off, and now I feel like the same shit? Is it because, I don't know, I got on stage at some theater thing and I made a fool of myself and everyone laughed at me and now I feel rejected, and anytime a girl rejects me, that brings that up? Is it that your teachers yelled at you? Is it that your parents got divorced and you felt like a reject? You felt like, my parents don't love me. Is it that your parents gave you up for adoption? Is it that you got fucking bullied? Is it that you had friends last week who turned you down for some event or something? They didn't invite you to a party or something, and now this girl saying no to you or rejecting you reminds you of that. Like, there is so much useful information if you go a little deeper and dig a little deeper. You don't have to spend like 5 hours, although it will be incredibly useful if you do. But just spend like fucking 10 minutes thinking, why am I this angry? Why do I give a shit? And half the time you will find the answer. All of the time you'll always eventually find the answer. But like half the time when you find the answer, just finding the answer makes you feel better. Just going like, yeah, of course I would be angry that this girl rejected me, because like I feel like all the other girls in the past rejected me as well. So this just reminds me of that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's rational. Like, yeah, I don't want to sit here and be angry, but that's the reason why I'm angry. It's probably pretty fucking normal to be angry if I feel like I've been rejected my entire life, and this girl is just one more, who does that. And so now what you can do, now that you're aware of that, is you can do something about it. You can take deep breaths. You can go for a walk. You can make yourself feel better. You can fucking run a bubble bath for yourself or some shit, right? You can watch a funny movie. You can do something to cheer yourself up, to be a best friend to yourself, right? Just like if your mate was sad, you would do something to cheer him up. You should be doing that same shit with yourself. The second thing you can do when you're aware of why this emotion is coming up is you can do something to make sure it doesn't keep happening. Right? So now that you're aware that if a girl rejecting you, now that you're aware that when a girl rejects you, it reminds you of your past rejections and that's why you're pissed. Now, the next time a girl rejects you, you will be prepared for the emotion. And so then when you feel angry, you'll be like, yeah, of course I'm going to be angry. Like, we already went over this. I already know why I'm angry. It's because I've been rejected in the past. And then you can let go of the emotion or process the emotion. It doesn't have this hold on you. You're not going to sit there and ruminate on it and say, why am I so pissed? What's wrong with me? Why am I such a fucking pussy? Why am I a faggot? Why do I feel emotions? What the fuck is wrong with me? That shit makes the emotion work. You give power to the emotion when you try and suppress it. You do. Because you're basically telling yourself, this is such a big deal. This emotion is so scary that it must be suppressed at all costs. I have to bottle it up. It's so scary, I can't even talk about it. I have to run away from it. That's the real issue here. Whereas when you turn towards your emotions and say, why am I feeling this? Why am I sad today? Why am I depressed? Why do I feel like fucking crying? What the hell is this? Let me process this. When you turn towards it, it doesn't have such a hold over you because you're shining a light on it, right? You're shining a fucking light on it. Those of you listening to the audio will have no idea what I just did then. You're shining a light on it, right? You're making it, you're putting a spotlight on it and saying, this is not such a big, scary thing. I don't have to run away from this emotion. I can sit in this emotion. I can process this emotion. I can think about this emotion. I can talk to my mates about this emotion. I can post on the forums or in the Winners Club with me, which is like a private forum, for self-improvement shit with me. And I can ask what's going on and they can help me or I can process it myself. This isn't a big deal. Like, this emotion is not a big deal. And now you can just rationally sit there and say like, okay, or as rationally as you can be. You're not always going to be rational when you're emotional, but you can sit there and say, what's this emotion trying to tell me? What can I learn from this? That's another really good question. I feel butthurt or I feel sad or depressed or angry, whatever it is. What can I learn from this? What is this trying to teach me? That's another good question. What is this emotion trying to teach me? There is always a lesson to be learned when you're feeling something. There's always something you can do going forwards. There's always a way that you can deal with the emotion and minimize it in the future. Because I want to make it clear. I don't want you guys to walk around being angry and butthurt and sad all the time. Yes, over time you want to be less emotional, for sure. I said that at the start of the podcast. You do want to work towards a more stoic thing. That applies if you're a man or a woman, by the way. Women absolutely benefit from stoicism and getting your emotions more in check and having them at more of a healthy level than like up here at a 10 out of 10 all the time. I don't want you guys or girls to walk around feeling at a 10 out of 10 of emotions, negative emotions all the time. If you can feel 10 out of 10 for joy, then absolutely I want you to feel that. But your emotions are trying to tell you something. Ask yourself these questions. They are useful. They are helpful. They are a brilliant source of inspiration a lot of the time. If you're really angry about something, man, that's amazing motivation. That's why I'm telling you to turn towards the emotion and try and learn from the emotion and try and process the emotion. If you're bottling that anger or bottling that depression or bottling that butthurt feeling, you're like suppressing fuel, right? It's like having a fucking car, a fucking Formula One racing car, and then putting like half deflated tires on it. There's only so much that car can get you. There's only so fast that car can go if you don't fucking inflate the tires. And you guys here, if you're not using your emotions as motivation, you're only going to get... What the hell is going on here? One of my lights just fell down right in the middle of my impassioned speech. Why would you do that? I need to get a proper light stand for this thing. Something I'm working on. This is going to annoy me, isn't it? Fine. Fuck you. You can just sit there. Fuck that light. That's me emotional, guys. So my emotions here are trying to tell me, get a tripod so this light doesn't fall over in the middle of a fucking video. But guys, I want you to also start working on being grateful for your emotions. That's going to be, for a lot of you, a really big switch. It's going to take a little bit of practice. You're going to say, like, why would I be grateful for the fact I'm angry? Do this exercise or this podcast. Come back and listen to this podcast again in future. And I want you guys to do everything I talked about in here. Like, next time you're angry or sad or emotional, start asking yourself these questions. Why do I feel like this? What is this trying to teach me? What are these emotions trying to tell me? What can I do with these emotions? How can I use this in a positive way? How can I learn from this? Is there something in the past that made me feel this angry? And now that's why I'm angry now. Like, this is a trigger almost. Is there a way that I can make sure this emotion doesn't happen again in future? All of that is incredibly useful, guys. Like that's amazing. What's it like fuel for the fire, right? Like these questions, this is amazing motivation. This is amazingly helpful. You should be grateful for these emotions. Like, do you know how much of my self-awareness is down to the fact that I face towards my emotions and say, what is this anger trying to tell me? What is this sadness trying to tell me? Why am I depressed right now? Why do I feel like fucking crying? Why do I literally feel like just having a fucking cry? What's going on here? And a lot of the time, it's because I'm not happy with where my life is at that point in time, or I'm not happy with the way I spent my day or my week or something like that, right? And so then I will change it. I'll say, well, I'm sad because I've sat around on the couch doing nothing today. I haven't recorded a podcast. Or maybe in your guys' case, it's I'm sad and I'm angry because I haven't gone outside to talk to women in a week because I've been putting it off because I'm scared. Okay, I think the solution is I need to go outside and just talk to a girl. I'm scared right now. Okay, I can do this. I'm going to give myself a little pep talk. I'm going to go outside. You walk around, you walk around for an hour or two. You talk to one girl and you're like, okay, like I did it. And you talk to a few more and you're like, all right, this was good. Like, okay. That emotion is the only reason you just did that. Facing towards that emotion and asking yourself, why am I sad? Why am I angry? That has then forced you or enabled you, would be a better way to say it, enabled you to go out and actually take action and do something positive and build the kind of life you want. That only happened because you felt that fucking emotion. So please, guys, do not think that emotions are a bad thing or that they are, something to be suppressed. They're fucking, like, thank Christ we're emotional people. Otherwise, you'd just sit on the couch and do nothing. You'd be boring. You'd be like, what's that race? Like Spock, whatever those are. They're fucking, in Star Trek. There'll be a million people in the comments right now yelling at me. They start with V. I don't fucking know. The people who don't feel emotions. For any of you who don't know what Star Trek is, there's a whole race that they don't feel any emotions. Spock is the name of one of them. And there are times in that show, it's hilarious. I've seen that show and I can't even remember. I'm so fucking tired. I've seen episodes of that show and I still can't even remember the fucking name. But there are times where that race, Vulcans, why is my brain not fucking working today? There are times when the Vulcan race almost feel jealous. It seems to be a very intentional thing with the writing in that show. So for context, the Vulcan race in this show don't feel any emotions. And there are times in the show when they seem to be jealous of the human race. Like jealous of how emotional and passionate and like loving, because as much as emotions can make you feel all the way down here, like really low, they can also take you to some amazing heights. And again, they are information. And I do get the sense from watching that show that there are times where the Vulcans seem jealous that they don't have this information source that the humans have. Like it's almost like an intuition. Again, your emotions are like information. They're intuition. They're telling you something. They're useful. They're motivating as fuck. Some of the most beautiful things that have ever been done by a human being have been done solely from emotion. Often negative emotions, depression, sadness, frustration, anger. Why do you think I even started this fucking podcast? Why do you think I improved myself? Why do you think I went on and got laid, what is it, like 150 fucking times at this point in time? Why do you think I've had all these threesomes? Why do you think I've had a fucking foursome? Why do you think I've done any of this shit? Right? Literally because I felt negative emotions. Because I was angry for years, for like a decade. Depressed, angry, all of that shit. And I couldn't handle it anymore. And I was like, okay, these emotions are telling me that I'm not happy with my life. I haven't lived up to my potential. I can do better. This isn't good enough. I can be better. That was like years of anger. Most of the people, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say every single person on my website, on my forums, my coaching clients, anyone who has ever changed their life has done it because of emotions. They've gotten to a point of frustration where they can't do it anymore. They're so sick of just like running away from their emotions that they say, okay, what is my anger telling me? It's telling me that my life fucking sucks, that I fucking hate myself. I'm going to fucking change that. That comes from emotions. That comes from them turning towards their emotions and saying, what are these emotions trying to tell me? What can I do with them? Excuse me. How can I go out and build something amazing? Like I'm sick of being a fucking loser. I'm sick of being angry. I'm sick of being sad. I'm sick of being depressed. Your emotions are a fucking gift. Okay? Please stop suppressing them. Now go out, be emotional, face towards your emotions, and crush your goals, guys. But don't run away from your emotions.